This is in continuation to our previous video lecture where we were studying about regarding the shapes of carbon compounds, right? And this is lecture 2 of shapes of carbon compounds. Just to revise quickly what we have done in previous video lecture, we have seen that in organic compounds, carbon is either sp3 hybridized, sp2 hybridized or sp hybridized, right? Based on the hybridization of carbon atom, right, its shape is decided. If it's sp3, it's tetrahedral. If it's sp2, it's trigonal. If it's sp, it's linear molecule, right? Then we explained this based on the s character, right? There were 3 hybridization of carbon atom: sp3, sp2, sp. Here 25% s character. Here we have 33% s character, and in sp orbital or in sp hybridization we have 50% s character, right? So increase, let's see how increase in s character, we have done this also in previous lecture, how increase in s character will affect bond length, bond strength, right, and electronegativity, right? So we know that s orbital, right, s orbital is close to the nucleus, right? Since it's close to the nucleus, it's more tightly attracted by the nucleus, right, making bonds more strong, right, and shorter, right? When it's more closely attracted by the nucleus, when s orbital is more closely attracted by the nucleus, it will make bonds strong and small, right? And likewise the electronegativity will also increase, right? Because if carbon atom is sp hybridized, right, if carbon atom here is sp hybridized, it has more s character, right? And we know that s orbital is close to the nucleus, right? Since it's close to the nucleus, the electrons that are present in s orbital would be strongly attracted by the nucleus, right? And we know that electronegativity is the ability of element to attract the shared pair of electrons, right? So if you look at here, if you look at acetylene, in acetylene this carbon is sp hybridized, right? So here electronegativity of carbon is maximum because of maximum s character, right? So it will, in this bond, this carbon will attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. If you look at sp3 hybridized carbon, here the electronegativity of carbon is minimum among the three hybridization, right? So this carbon atom is least electronegative, right? And the second explanation that I gave was that because sp orbital, this sp orbital has maximum s character, right? And we know that s orbital is small, right? Since s orbital is small, therefore sp orbital that has maximum s character is smallest among these 3, right? Since this is smallest, so if you look at acetylene, here this carbon atom is sp hybridized, right? That means it is smallest as per this explanation because it has maximum s character, so this is smallest, right? Since sp orbital of carbon atom in acetylene is smallest, so it will make shorter bonds, right? That is why if you see, the experimental determination was that CH bond is also smaller. As the S character increases, the carbon hydrogen bond length is also decreasing, right? Because this bond is formed by sp orbital, by overlapping of sp orbital and 1s orbital of hydrogen atom, that makes this bond smaller. If you look at this sp3 hybrid orbital, this is bigger, right, among all these 3. So the bond that it will make with 1s orbital of hydrogen atom by overlapping would be the biggest. It is 110 pm. Similarly, same is explanation for carbon-carbon bonds, right? If you look at this bond, right, it is made from sp hybridized carbon atoms, right? sp hybridized carbon atoms are smaller due to maximum s character, right? So due to that, this carbon-carbon triple bond is smallest, right? Now There's one more explanation towards this shorter bonds. Let's draw the bonding in case of ethylene. Right, we'll just understand it using ethylene. Ethylene has three hybrid orbitals. It has three sp2 hybrid orbitals, right? So since it has three sp2 hybrid orbitals, this is one orbital, this is second orbital, right? I'll just show you. Here is the smaller orbital, right? This is how we draw hybrid orbitals. And we have, this is the third orbital. Similarly, the other carbon atom, this is one orbital, this is second orbital, right? And this is your third orbital, right? So this carbon is sp2 hybridized, and these are sp2 hybrid orbitals, right? For hybridization, you can check the detailed lecture of chemical bonding on hybridization. So, and there is one in both the carbon atoms. We know that carbon has 3 p orbitals and 1 s orbital. So here in sp2 hybridization, 1 s orbital will merge with 2 p orbitals, right, to make sp3, 3 sp3 hybrid orbitals, sorry, 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals, right? Since carbon has 3 p orbitals, so one is left which is not hybridized. We call it unhybridized orbitals, orbital, right? So let me just draw it with a different color. It would be like this. This is how we draw p orbital, right? So this p orbital, this is p orbital, and this is unhybridized, right? Now this p orbital will undergo sidewise overlapping like this to make a pi bond, right? And we know that the pi bond which is formed by sidewise overlapping is a weaker bond, right? Since it's a weaker bond, so it makes this molecule reactive, right? And since now, in addition to a single bond, in case of ethane we have just single bond. Now in ethene, in this molecule we have a double bond, right? The other bond is the pi bond. So this pi bond, right, will give additional attraction, right, will produce additional attraction between these two carbon atoms, right? That will bring these two carbon atoms closer, right? So it also adds towards the lessening of carbon-carbon double bond, right? Because we have this additional pi bond. This additional pi bond will bring these two carbon atoms closer, thereby shortening the bond length, right? That is why double bond is shorter than the single bond. And here, if you look at acetylene, you have similar 2 pi bonds, right? That will bring a carbon atoms more closer, thereby reducing the bond length still further. It reduces the bond length, and thereby at the same time, since there is one additional bond in ethene and 2 additional pi bonds in ethyne molecule or acetylene molecule, the bond energy or the bond strength, that is the energy required to break the bond or the energy released when a bond is formed, right, will also increase. If you see, the bond energy of carbon-carbon triple bond is maximum, right, because of presence of 2 pi bonds, right? Now there is one important thing that we will see here. This carbon-carbon, in this carbon-carbon bonding, this p orbital is formed by overlapping of, this pi bond is formed by overlapping of p orbitals, right? And this overlapping would be maximum when these two pi orbitals are exactly parallel to one another, right? So these two p orbitals on these two carbon atoms would be parallel to one another when all these carbon atoms or all these we have if I take example of ethene, we have these hydrogen atoms here. When all these atoms lie in one plane, then when all these atoms are in one plane, then only we have maximum overlap on these between these two p orbitals, right? So to have maximum overlap between these two p orbitals, all these atoms, right, these hydrogen atoms, right, should be in one plane, right? Now we have a concept that this carbon carbon bond should not be rotated, right? Say if I rotate this carbon, say if I this is the carbon, say if I try to rotate this carbon, right, then on rotating this carbon, the rest of the atoms are no longer in the same plane, they are not coplanar, right? So on rotating this carbon, the other thing that happens is the overlap between these p orbitals will reduce, right? It will reduce or it will become zero, right? When the overlap between these p orbitals will reduce, this will lead to the rupture or the breakage of this pi bond, right? That will make the molecule unstable, right? That is why we say that there is restricted rotation around carbon carbon double bond. Any molecule you have, you cannot rotate it again, you cannot rotate it if you have a double bond. Whereas if you talk about the single bond in ethane, this can be rotated. Why? Because you do not have any such bond which is formed by the sidewise overlapping, right? That will reduce this overlapping and make the molecule unstable. So you can rotate this single bond, you can rotate carbon carbon single bond, right? A carbon atom can be rotated across this single bond, but it cannot be rotated across this double bond or triple bond. Why? Because it will lead to the rupture of this pi bond. Why it will lead to the rupture of this pi bond? Because if you rotate it, this overlapping will diminish, this overlapping will reduce or it will become zero, hence breaking this pi bond. So rotation in carbon carbon double bond is restricted. We have restricted rotation across this carbon carbon double bond, right? This is very important, right? We call this as restricted rotation across carbon carbon double bond, right? Now the second thing about this pi bond is, since you have this pi bond, there is electron, due to this pi bond you have high electron density above and below the plane, right? That will make, due to the maximum electron density, right, you have electron density above and below the plane of this carbon atom, right? Due to this, the reagent can easily attack the ethene molecule, right? Because of the availability of pi electrons, right? Because of the availability of pi electrons above and below the plane of the carbon atoms, above and below the plane of this bond, there are good chances that a reagent who is looking for electrons, right? There are reagents that attack electron rich sites, right, that have high electron density. Since this ethene molecule has high electron density above and below, so it can easily be attacked by reagents, which makes it reactive, right? So just remember that this, due to this pi bond, it has high electron density above and below the plane of the ring, or above and below the plane of this bond, right? That makes it reactive, right? Easily attacked by the reagents. So two things: restricted rotation against carbon carbon double bond, right? Second is high electron density above and below this plane, right? That makes it reactive, right? So I hope till this point it is clear. Now in the previous video lecture we studied that as the hybridization changes, right, different hybridization give different shapes to organic molecules, right? Why we have complex structures of carbon compounds? Because of its different hybridized state, right? And because of these pi bonds and all, the compounds are complex, Now let's look into few examples. Right, let's take the example of the compound. Let me just rub this. We have certain organic molecules where you have all the three hybridized carbon atoms. So you can imagine the complex structure of such compounds, right? CH3, right? CH, double bond CH, right? Here, this carbon is sp3 hybridized. Since you have a double bond like that of ethene, this is sp2, this is sp2. Since you have a triple bond here like ethine or acetylene, this is sp, this is sp2 and this is sp hybridized. So you have all three hybridization in this molecule. So you can imagine the complex shape or structure of this molecule, right? Now we say that this complex shape is due to hybridization, right? And the bonding, whichever organic molecule you take, right? Let's take acetone. This is again an organic compound, right? Here carbon is again sp2 hybridized, right? So whichever organic compound you take, you have similar double bond, triple bonds, right? And carbon is always tetravalent in nature, right? Carbon is always tetravalent in nature in all organic compounds, right? So tetravalence of carbon and hybridization of s and p orbitals, right, will explain bonding in organic compounds, right? So let's look into hybridization. We'll just look into it briefly because I already have a video lecture, detailed video lecture on it from chemical bonding, right? So wherever you see carbon atom is tetravalent, right? And in order to satisfy its tetravalency, by tetravalent we mean carbon has 4 valency. The valency of carbon in organic compounds is 4. So in order to satisfy its 4 valency, it will form double and triple bonds. That is why we have double and triple bonds in organic molecules, because carbon is always tetravalent, and in order to satisfy its tetravalency, it will form double and triple bonds, right? Now let's see how we can explain that. Firstly, why does it need explanation, right? Why does it need explanation? We'll just see in a moment. This is tetravalent. Let's look into the tetravalency of carbon. Tetravalency is nothing but covalency, right? When I say carbon is tetravalent, that means its valency is 4, right? And how do you know the valency? Valency is combining capacity, and combining capacity, if you look from the electronic configuration, is equal to the number of half-filled orbitals, right? Valency, or in covalent bonding we call it covalency, is equal to number of half-filled orbitals, right? And number of half-filled orbitals are seen from electronic configuration of ground state, right? Electronic configuration of ground state. If you look at the ground state, electronic configuration of carbon, it is 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz0, right? So as per this electronic configuration, right, carbon should be divalent. Why? Because as per this electronic configuration, it has 2 half-filled orbitals, right? So valency is equal to number of half-filled orbitals. So valency of carbon should be 2 as per its ground state electronic configuration. But if we look at this methane molecule, it can form 4 bonds, right? That means its valency is 4 here, because valency is combining capacity. It can combine with 4 hydrogen atoms. So its valency is 4 here. So how can we explain the valency 4? How can we explain the tetravalency of carbon? That is why we say it needs explanation. Now the way to explain is to explain the tetravalency is, if you look here, we have 2 electrons, here we have 0 electrons, right? So when carbon will form bonds with other elements, right, say hydrogen atom in this case, right, ideally based on ground state electronic configuration, it should combine with only 2 hydrogen atoms, right? So it should form this kind of compounds, CH2, but it's forming CH4, which is methane molecule, right? So to explain this, what we say is, when carbon form bond with hydrogen atoms, right, there is attractive interaction. Now due to this attractive interaction, energy is released, right? When energy is released, this released energy will promote electron from this 2s orbital to 2pz orbital, right? That is, this the electronic configuration in excited state is changed, right? Excited state is when forming bond with any element, say hydrogen, it releases energy, and that released energy will promote this s electron to this pz orbital, right? So this is your excited state electronic configuration of carbon, which is 1s2, 2s1, one electron is promoted. So we call this as promotion concept. Its tetravalency is explained based on promotion concept. 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1, right? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 half-filled orbitals, right? Now we have number of half-filled orbitals, 4. So valency would be 4. And ground state, as per ground state electronic configuration, it should be divalent, right? Excited state as per excited state electronic configuration, it should be tetravalent. So tetravalency is explained based on promotion concept, right? Which is, and tetravalency is excited state electronic tetravalency is seen only in excited state electronic configuration of carbon atom. Now the second important thing is that all the 4 bonds, right, all these 4 bonds in methane molecule are alike, they are same, right? But why we say that they are same? What makes us think that these bonds should be different? If you look at this, what happens is, if you look at only these half-filled orbitals, right, can overlap, can take part in bonding, right? So when these half-filled orbitals will overlap with hydrogen, with 1s1 orbital of hydrogen, right, 4 hydrogen atoms will come with their 1s1 orbital to form bond, right? So if you see, one bond will get formed when 2s orbital of carbon will overlap with 1s orbital of hydrogen, right? Because carbon has 2 types of orbitals, 2s and 2p, and rest of the 3 bonds that gets formed is due to px, py, pz orbital, which are of nearly same energy, right? So px, py, pz, it's 2px, 2py, 2pz orbital of carbon will overlap with 1s orbital of hydrogen atom to form this bond. So you should have 2 types of bonds, right, in methane molecule. But experimentally it is found that all these bonds are alike, they are same, right? So what explanation is given towards it? Hybridization between s and p orbitals. In electronic configuration of carbon, you can see that you have s orbital and p orbitals, right? So hybridization is when these s and p orbital will mix and merge, right, and they will produce a new set of hybridized orbitals, right? So what will happen is, this is your 2s orbital, and this is your 2px, py and 2pz orbital, right? So these will mix and merge, these 2s orbital and this 2px, 2py, 2pz orbital will mix and merge, right? 1s and 3p orbital will form 1s and 3 sp3 hybrid orbital. They will produce sp3 hybrid orbital that have same shape and similar energy, that have same shape and energy, right? So these are sp3 hybrid orbitals. You have 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals which are same, right? Now these 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals which look like this, sorry, it should be like this. Right? These are 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals. So these 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals now overlap with 1s orbital of hydrogen atom, right? And let me show you how overlapping will take place. Just rub this off. Right? So let's see how bonding takes place in methane molecule. Right? This 1s and 3 p orbitals will mix and merge to form 4 set of sp3 hybrid orbitals which are of same energy and same shape. Right? These are sp3 hybrid orbitals. 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals formed by mixing and merging of 1s and 3p orbitals. So these are sp3 hybrid orbitals. Now these sp3 hybridals, since are same, they are not different, right? Like here 1s, right, and 3p, they are different, but when they mixed and merged they form same set of orbitals which are sp3 hybrid orbitals. So they will undergo overlapping with hydrogen, 1s orbital of hydrogen atom like this, right, to form methane molecule. That is why we say that in methane we have, that is why we say methane has sp3 hybridized carbon, right, and methane is tetrahedral in nature, right, and carbon atom in methane is tetravalent, right, and all these bonds are alike, all these bonds are same, right. I hope this is clear, right. So this is followed in all organic molecules, right. In all organic molecules carbon is tetravalent, right. So where you see doubly bonded or triply bonded carbon in alkenes and alkynes, there, in order to satisfy its tetravalent nature, carbon will form double bonds and triple bonds, right. You can draw the Lewis structures. You need to be very good with bonding, right, to understand that, all that, right. So here it's double bond. Why we have a double bond, right? Because carbon needs to satisfy its tetravalent nature, so it will form a double bond. Here triple bond, because carbon is tetravalent, so in order to satisfy its 4 valencies it will form triple bond, right. So I hope all this is clear, right. Just remember this, all this is basics, right. I hope this is clear. Thanks.